Hi guys, this is the tutorial to make the speeding lights effect seen in the Falcon Punch movie. So you go into Windows and open up the particle editor tool, and then you open up a .pcf file with pre-existing particle effects that you think might help you. In our case, we're going to go to the Team Fortress files and open up the particle files folder, and then choose cinefx.pcf, and you look around searching for a good particle effect that you can use as a template, and a good one for the speeding lights is the cinefx Gold Rush Embers. So let's duplicate that into a new one and rename it into something comprehensible like so, and then you select the new particle effect and familiarize yourself with the tabs on the down left side of the particle editor. We're going to be mostly using the initializer, the emitter, and the system properties tabs. In short, the initializer decides how each particle will have what properties they will have when they spawn, such as position and speed, while the emitter decides how each particle should be spawned, what frequency. And the system properties contains the more static properties of each particle, such as sprite and radius and trail length and such. But we need to pay attention to the other tabs as well, because they can interrupt with the effect we're trying to achieve. For instance, the movement basic adds a gravitational effect to the particles. Right now they slightly hover down after they are emitted. So let's clean up those that we don't need. For the ember effect that we use, we don't need the movement basic, we don't need the random force, and we don't need the radius scale. And now it's starting to look something like we want, but we don't want it to be emitted instantaneously, so let's remove that as well and add a new emitter so that it is emitted continuously. And while we're editing the emitter, we can also add more particles, which we do in system properties, where we make the roof of the max particles higher, and then we just go back to the emitter that we created and increase the emission rate, so we have more particles. And then this is pretty nice, but I would prefer more of a torus shape on the speeding light. This is more like if you have something right behind you, but if you have a more torus shape, it goes more into the distance. The way I did this was that I went to the position within sphere random function and changed around the parameters for the speed down here and position within the sphere, which is decided by this max and min, to something more like this and this, and then just manipulate the starting speed into one direction. And just the tip here is that this entering the field values can sometimes be a bit difficult, so remember to check it. See here, for example, a lot of strange zeros mess up the particle effect. So there, now we have the particle effects going just in one direction, and that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial.